My dude, do you think it is a coincidence that every major religion practice some sort of fasting? I don't think it is. I don't think it is, and that's why I made this video, to tell you my view on that. Because Christians have fasting, we have Lent. The Muslims have fasting, Ramadan. Probably the Jews probably have also Lent. They might also do that. I don't know if they do. Someone let me know in the comments. I don't know. The Buddhists, kind of a big deal for them as well. So all the main religions, I don't know if all of them, but all the actual heavy contenders that have some serious theology, they all practice fasting, and I don't think that's something. There's not a coincidence. There's not something that's like, oopsie, let's all just like not fucking eat for some reason, right? And I think that has everything to do with what is religion, and what is the purpose of religion, and how we practice religion, right? Religion is nothing more than a series of practices, of rituals that connect us and help us build a relationship with God, and allow the sacred things to manifest into this world. Like, there is this common understanding, and even if you don't believe in God, even if you don't but follow any specific religion, I think you can clearly see that this world is kind of fucked up, right? There's kind of something missing. You can observe it. It's like there's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of problems. Things are always like crumbling and falling apart. If you don't do like maintenance on something, it's gonna just get rusted and demolished by time. It's that famous painting from Goya, the Saturn eating his sons, right? This idea of the god Chronos, which is time, eating its sons. That means like nothing escapes time. That's the world that we live in. We live in a world that is subject to time and the changes that happen over time. So, because we're not only spirit, we're also body, that means we need to have practices, physical practices that remind us and that help us build a connection with God. Religion literally comes from the word, from the Latin religare, which means reconnect. So that's what a religion is. It's nothing to do with what you believe in. It's nothing, I mean, it has to do with what you believe, but it's not what people usually think. That is like, oh, religion is going to church. Oh, religion is having like some dogmatic things that you have that you can do and cannot do. That's not what it actually is. What actually is religion? A series of practices that connect us with God, right? That's why when Muslims are praying, when Orthodox are praying, when Catholics are praying, that's why you go on your knees when you're praying. You're physically making yourself vulnerable to kind of remind yourself and to engrave in your own body that you are being submissive to something, that you're submitting yourself to a powerful will, to a superior will, for example, right? When you prostrate yourself, when you put your head on the floor, it's like you're the most vulnerable. You can't even see if there's a threat. You're completely exposing like the back of your neck and your back to whatever is in front of you. So it is this extremely vulnerable and humbling position, and that's why you physically do it. Because it's like you're reminding yourself, it's like, God, you are in command, and I am bowing to you, right? That's the idea. And we can connect that with the idea of a temple, right? Most religions, if not all religions, they do have the idea of a temple, even if it's a very individualistic temple. But a temple is a space that is commonly understood to be a space apart from the rest of the world. That's right. That's why it's very common that you have those gargoyles in cathedrals, or that you have, for example, some like symbolisms from the zodiac or from agriculture or whatever in front of a church. Because that means is like, well, from here on, you are leaving the material world and you're getting into something that is apart from it. It's the whole idea of most temples for Muslims and Christians is like a square with a circle on top, right? Is the combination between heaven and earth. It is a place where sacred things can manifest in a non-sacred world. And here's where I'm getting with the whole fasting thing. You cannot have impurities in the temple. You cannot have a dirty temple. You cannot allow the sacred to manifest itself in a place that is filthy. So people have to clean the temple, right? That's why when Jesus in the Bible, he goes into the temple and there's money changers in the temple, what does he do? He politely asks them to leave. He turns the other cheek. No, he beats the fuck out of them. Why? Because you have to clean the temple. It's like, no, this is not allowed here because this is not a common area. This is not a random ass place that you can just gather to chit chat and hit on girls and you know, do whatever and gossip. This is a place that is different. So you cannot have impurities in the temple. And I think the same thing, I never read anything about it. It was like, this is something that I was thinking about when I was writing the script. I think the idea of fasting in the body is kind of the same thing. It's like you are preparing you're cleansing your body, you're cleaning the temple, like you're cleaning yourself to receive the divine. That's why religions, for example, use fasting, in my opinion. In the Catholic Church, we have something that's called the Eucharistic fast. That means that before the Mass, before receiving the Eucharist, you have to be, I think is an hour, without eating or drinking anything. Because it's kind of like you have to be empty to be able to receive something. Like an empty cup is necessary to receive a liquid in it. You cannot, if you have a filled cup and you put more stuff in it, it's gonna overflow. It's not gonna work properly, right? That's why this whole idea of the chalice being something that receives, for example, the blood of Christ, the wine, the host. It's where it's an empty space where you put something in it. You have if you guys watch Vinland Saga, on the second season, there's that scene on the beach that the old man tells Thorfinn that is a good thing that you're empty because that means you can fill it with whatever you want. And I think it's kind of the same idea. By fasting, you are physically emptying yourself, right? You're emptying yourself of the things that you eat, because when you're eating food, you are also you're bringing the world and the material world into you, and you're using energy to digest that thing and to process that food and to get the energy from it. When you abandon that and you fast, you're spiritually like emptying the cup so that you can receive divinity, so that you can receive. So you're empty to receive God. That's pretty much what I was thinking about, right? And it's also a very good example and a very good reminder. Let's go again for my first definition about religion being practices that connect you to God. I think is a very good reminder, a physical, like a practice, a ritual that reminds you that what sacrifice is. Because it's very easy and it's very noble and it's very, it's good when you sacrifice something bad for something good. When you quit porn and substitute it for actual relationships and in a marriage, or something more productive like writing, reading, creating content, praying. But at the end of the day, you are getting rid of something bad to put something good in its place. When it comes to food, it's like the sacrifice is as valuable as the thing that you are sacrificing. You know what I mean? That's why the ultimate sacrifice is your life. That's why Cain and Abel, that's why Abel got the favor from God, because his sacrifice was better, was more valuable, was more precious. That's why they sacrificed virgins or like healthy animals, because it was something that was valuable. So when you sacrifice something valuable, it is to get something even better. That's the idea. I'm going to not do something good right now to get something better at the end. Like when you stop watching porn, you're not sacrificing anything. You're getting rid of a bad habit. You're getting rid of a vice. But when you stop eating for a certain period of time, you are sacrificing. You're making a sacrifice. Because food is good for you. So you stop consuming something that's good for you. You voluntarily don't do something that's good for you. So you can empty the temple that is yourself, your spirit, to connect better with God. And that's why I think all religions practice fasting. I don't think it's just a historical coincidence and it was convenient because access to food was nothing, never something really reliable over time. I don't think that's to do with it, right? I think it has to do with this idea of sacrifice. I think it has to do with the symbolical act of cleaning the temple, and I think it has to do a lot to dealing and getting used to suffering. Getting used to suffering, like not eating is uncomfortable, hunger is uncomfortable. However, when you start doing it, you realize what? It's like, well, maybe I'm not as fragile as I think I was. Maybe I'm not actually a bitch. You live your whole life, you think you're a bitch. Life's bitching you up. Your job bitches you up. You know, difficulties bitch you up. And at some point, you might start convincing yourself that you're actually a bitch. But when you fast, when you go through this discomfort, it is the same like mental, spiritual benefits of lifting, for example, and of doing like martial arts. You go through pain and you learn to endure pain, and this pain reminds you that you're stronger than you think you are, and that you can actually you are a master over your will. You might want to eat, you might be hungry, you might want to do something, but you know you don't have to. It's like you decide that's not something that you want to do right now. Okay? That's why I think most religions have some sort of fasting. That's why I think we all should be fasting, even if you don't have a religion. I highly recommend that you do incorporate fasting into your life. It's great for your health. It's great for your mental health. It's great for your spiritual health. It's great for your energy, for your productivity, for everything. It's just fantastic. I made a whole fucking channel kind of just about it. You know what I mean? So stop eating. And see you next time. God bless.